Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with my boy PD. Say what's up, PD.
What's going on?
Hey, so today we're going to be discussing what just dropped at the San Diego Comic Con. Absolute Batman. This looks off the chain. PD, what is your thought on this? How does it relate to the? Do we even know how it relates to the Absolute series that's going on right now?
I can't tell because Absolute is, unless it's gonna crack the same thing like the Kingdom did, where it cracked into hyper time. I feel like this is kind of alternate universe because I guess it got kind of like a Muay Thai type of Street Fighter type of Batman thing going on here with some funky wings on him. So it feels like it's an alternate version of Batman with stuff you couldn't do in the regular universe. So I guess this would be Scott Snyder doing something a little bit different than what he did before with Batman in a different sort of realm with the artist I don't know of, Nick the
Dragotta,
Dragotta.
Dragotta.
Yeah, I don't know his work, but it looks interesting. It's art. What do you think?
I mean, it definitely looks very interesting, but this is it seems to be that they're trying to launch not seems to be, but from what we're getting here from Bleeding Cool, that they're launching a like an ultimate version of the DC universe,
Yeah.
and this allows like talent to play around in this particular I guess sandbox for them to do what they want to do and how they can imagine some of these characters. I mean,
Hmm.
I think it's great. I think it's good, but the issue that I have particularly with Batman is that they do it all the time with Batman. There's so many different versions of Batman. It's like, for the love of God, like how much is it there? I mean, how do you think is how different is this going to be to Batman? I mean, you have all different versions of Batman, and it's like, come on, now
Well,
another version. I mean, but again, he's the number one stunner. So, what do you expect them to do? They're going to
number
get
one stunner. I want to do. I don't think I can do this successfully, but when the Batman animated series came out, and they would have you go to the stores. Obviously, the regular Batman wouldn't be there, and they'd have French Open Batman, Winter Olympics Batman, and all that stuff. And I was like, this is ridiculous that they have so many different Batmans. And then nowadays, even the stuff I have in the house, like right now, and I've collected Batman in two periods when I was a kid for a short time when Frank Miller was doing it, and then what was it? Then when I think after Nightfall when Batman came back, I collected that. Oh, and fourth time I guess you could say Scott Snyder. I did collect that period too. So it's kind of four periods. But as a kid, he was one of my favorites, like Spider Man, X Men, and to a lesser extent Superman. Because Superman is probably the first thing me and my brother went out to get, and we had those big Superman things. And then as you go along, you forget. As a kid, we forgot that we were fans of Sesame Street, that type of deal. So ultimately, I look now and I say I have animated Batman action figure, animated Dark Knight Batman action figure, regular, the original Batman action figure, and I have the 0 year Batman action figure. So it's just like you get caught up with there's so many different versions because the artists like someone like Todd McFarlane is now doing different art styles, and that goes into that same realm of having the winter solstice Batman and having summer solstice Batman, or what is it, underwater Batman, that sort of thing, which is it. As a 20-year-old was like, oh, this is ridiculous, and then now everyone gets it, and I mean, at the same time I bought Gotham by Gaslight as a kid, not well, I guess a 19, 20-year-old, so it was like something that I thought was really cool. So I mean, it's something that everyone, but that's the feel of giving you something like Gotham by Gaslight is giving you something a little different. And even though that's like is a Silver Age thing where they have different Batmans, they kind of always go to how rougher can we get. Now you got spikes, obviously it's going to be a little more brutal, and he has. You're not sure how this stuff is. Those hooks that he has that look like half a bat wing. But if there's some sort of attack thing that he has, but I don't know. It looks interesting though, and the art looks good. So ultimately, I've seen if the art can hold up to the cover. We'll see how this goes.
All right, but then I gotta bring it back a little bit more. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So here's the issue I have with this. Okay, this whole situation, right, is that they're calling it Absolute Batman, and so I mean, just a brief review of other absolute comics with Batman in the title. Here, let me see. We have Absolute Batman, Court of the Owls. We have Absolute.
You're talking about absolute. That's different. The absolute edition.
Hold on, I'm trying to say. I get that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I think the titling this kind of confuses people as to what is going on. If you're using absolute as an addition issue, and now you're calling this as an absolute Batman, yo, I mean, you're gonna have to do Absolute Batman 2024 reboot or something, because Absolute Batman versus Absolute Batman: The Killing Joke, Absolute Batman: Arkham Asylum, Absolute Batman: Court of Owls, Absolute Batman: The Three Jokers, Absolute Batman Year One by Miller, Absolute Batman: Death of the Family. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. This is inane, the titling of this whole thing. If they're really
Feel that it's a. I'm sorry to cut you off. Don't you feel like it's a boardroom decision that someone said, "Hey, we got Absolute Watchmen, we got Absolute Dark Knight, Absolute Ronin. I mean, these are the three I have in my house. Why not a whole nother Absolute comic books? Because Absolute, I think the title sells. I think the title could sell, but if you have it in a format that's, a little bit cheaper, but having the Absolute, and then you'll lead us into doing a dual Absolute edition where we get to do a big version of it afterwards."
But the problem is, what is this going to be if this works? Is it going to be an absolute Batman? That's the option I'm trying to say. You're trying to say the absolute is a specific type of comic, and now you're coming out and saying, "Oh well, the Absolute is also the name." It doesn't make any sense.
I did as much as I could, and you refuted it. So I hear your point on it. Definitely, you have to call the Absolute Batman when they do the Absolute edition. It would be the Absolute. I have to give it to you. There's no way around it.
Unless it's going to die on a vine, unless they don't expect it to survive, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to kill this sucker. Let's just call it Absolute," and then somebody brings that. But with a badass looking cover like this, with a beefed up Batman, that's interesting.
Like Absolute, the word Absolute feels like it would be the real version. Like this is absolutely Batman, and this is like, no, it's an alternate version of it, and that's not. It's just we just like this word Absolute. It's like, like when politicians have a word that they use. They did it on Veep, where they had this word and it was used and it went viral within the news cycle. So she was going to court using the word, and they were like, "Oh my God!" and everyone started using it. But ultimately, DC with Scott Dunbier, who does the artist editions, they came up with how to make money off of old rope. They took there was collected editions all the time, and said, "Let's give you a bigger one with some backup stuff, and we'll call it an Absolute edition." Now, at the same time, the Watchmen, Dark Knight, I would say the ones I got, obviously I'm thinking the ones I've got. I also have the George Perez, the Crisis. Now, Crisis, they couldn't go to the original art to redo it because they put it on flexograph, so they had to probably be done by the comic books. But the Avengers versus JLA Avengers, that's another Absolute. Or that is Marvel and DC. So DC calls there's something different. So Marvel calls there's something different. So I'm not sure, but yeah, it is kind of
ridiculous. Let's just call it what it is. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Wow, this is a strange couple of shows. You learn something every day about the people you work with in these shows.
Well, I mean, look,
Batman related having a issue, but it makes sense to say, it's just like we're just gonna use a brand, which is a title of your larger collected editions, and then we're gonna see this sort of thing. But they're going strong. They got Scott Snyder. He's back with Batman, and he's with this other artist. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, I got to relate it back to the absolute power with Waller, right? That they're doing right now. Absolute power and the impact that it may have in the DC universe going forward. Is this a direct tie-in? I'm not sure. I mean, the whole purpose of the absolute power is Waller is um is she basically they're going after all the superheroes, right? She's going after the superheroes. She's bringing, and one thing I think I like what they've done is that they're bringing Failsafe from the Batman comics, right, to be like one of their enforcers, and then you also have the Brainiac Queen from the House of Brainiac. They're bringing in. Excuse me, did I say Brainiac Queen or did I say the Dominion, the Board Queen? But I mess up. My bad on that. But continuing forward, is this supposed to be a new take on Batman? I mean, because the whole point is they're trying to stop these superheroes, and 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 this is an alternate. Well, we already said it's supposed to be
Wait, so you think it could
a new
be actually coming from Absolute, where this is the Batman
this is the
post?
spinoff, the new spinoff into a whole new universe,
Okay.
supposedly where there are no longer or superheroes are being chased. You know, I if also is this an older Batman? Because then what this really turns into Avengers Twilight. Where you have the older superheroes. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not dissing. I'm just asking questions,
It's
inquiring.
not me. I
Want
was
to know?
America. It's not me doing these questions. It's the
Inquiring
person
minds.
who usually wouldn't be asking these questions, which are all fair questions, though.
So
Um,
dude, that's just my issue here with the whole absolute power and what's going on with it too. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, yo, I'm just more confused than ever. Simple as that. Uh,
yeah.
so it's and this whole absolute power, and I gotta make a small little dig at the absolute power thing. There are over 37 comics tied into the absolute power thing. 37 comics.
Wow. So
I
that's
mean,
all. That's what we. That's a bit that when we were doing. Me and Cal were doing the episode. We weren't sure how much of the crossover would be since it's 4 issues, but that this is a big crossover. It's a huge crossover across all of the books. So everyone wants to make their money off of this. So
and that's why I'm saying, is it? I mean, they put so much work into it, and this is now they're saying they can. This is their new Ultimate Universe, and so this is where everything veers off into the Ultimate Universe. Their Ultimate Universes, I think, is just nuts. But I don't know if it's going to encourage new readers. And you know me, I'm always saying we need to get more new readers here. My thought on the whole shebang. Um,
oh,
but
uh,
I just sent you something, and I said if you take a look at the absolute stuff, you have this. Well, I guess it includes the Superman Brainiac stuff. But you have. I'm just talking the ones that say absolute power. You got absolute power ground zero. That's one. Absolute power number one. You have absolute power task force 7 number one. You have absolute power task force 7 number two. Absolute power origins number one. I mean, absolute power task force 7 number three. Absolute power number two. Absolute power task force number 7
all right,
number
slow down. Let's look at this. See if we can see any of this stuff.
four.
Not this. I picked the wrong one. Stop.
So while I'm not hating, it we're looking into the absolute is just to me a difficult thing to look at, you know. So no, you just had it a second ago, Pete.
I
Go
know. I
back.
was looking at the cover. See if I can see the cover of one of them, which is the Suicide Squad Dream Team. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
So let me go back.
all the covers are lined up from 1 to 37.
Spinning. Just hold on for a second.
Second. There goes the cover right there, right?
Yeah, but
You make the fonts bigger, like so if you take up all the page.
yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, now that's gone. Now. Yeah, make it a little smaller, bro. A little smaller.
Well, now I can see it.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm just saying we can skip all this stuff, right? This all came out already. All
yeah,
this stuff. Because she's absolutely. But then you have the comic book, free comic book day. We're not even going to count that one out. Let's just start counting from where it actually says
here.
absolute power ground zero, number one.
Well, I didn't even see Ground Zero yet.
I have it. Then you have absolute power number one.
That I saw.
That's two.
Look that.
That's what I saw. So you're like, when I bought it, I was like, what the hell just happened here? So I kept on going, keep going.
Batman
And
150.
yeah, Batman 150. That's when Batman. They end up they kill the whole. I'm gonna give spoilers here. The Batman, they tie up the whole thing. Fail safe. Batman, the clone of his, is going to die. It rapidly ages, and then Batman gets his hand. So now that his hand that was cut off is now part of him again. So perfect tie-in. Also, Batman gets $3 billion he finds from that he gets from his enemy and the villain. So now he's back a billionaire. He doesn't own Wayne Industries, but he has this whole time. We're gonna have to talk about this too because now he's living in a town with everybody around him, which is the most dangerous thing possible. But that's another thing altogether. Then we go back to Absolute Power Task Force 7-1. There's four of these. Okay? Four of these. And
Uh-huh.
of course the Green Lanterns tie in because Waller makes a deal with the I think she makes a deal with the lanterns, you know, to prevent Earth from being helped while she's doing her thing. This is broad generalization, so peeps don't start flipping out about stuff. I'm just
Oh,
throwing some.
that's about it.
Not sure. I said peeps, not PD. Peeps.
I'm just saying the fact that you know all this stuff is really. I feel like this is another day where I'm left out. We got a day where my guys are doing their homework. So keep going if you got more to go on.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. That's good. Sorry.
We're only focused on the absolute power events here. Keep going. I mean, these are all part of it, different versions of it. At $5 a piece, I don't know. We should do the math. 5 times 30 is 150 times 7. 5 times 7, that's 185. So
Really
about $200.
ridiculous. What is this thing? They got
And an
a live.
absolute power origins. Like, come on, man. Like, this is what started the whole thing for Waller.
But this
Come on.
is like, but look at the Waller.
Yeah, it's why she started. Keep going. Keep going.
Good Lord, hold on. This keeping this site is terrible. The League of Comic
They gotta
Geeks.
make their money.
And the other one thing I found from Cal is that Green Arrow is a turncoat.
I wouldn't call him a turncoat. He's working with Waller now.
Okay. Is he okay with that for some strange reason?
I don't know why he's.
Oh,
It's a weird situation.
Superman getting the beat down again. Look at that. Pounded into dust. Batman and Bizarro.
I know. It hasn't come out yet, so I don't know what the story is. So the Catwoman. So it's weird. Another Absolute Power Task Force.
Now, what is Task Force 7? What is it? It's not.
That's her group that she made to go after the superpowered individuals.
Okay.
They're basically not, Think of it like in Dark Reign when they had Thunder, when they formed a crew just to go after people not following the rules. Keep going, keep going.
They're trying to put Wonder Woman clothes again. Superman in a black outfit.
They go Absolute Power Origins 2. So Absolute Power Task Force 7, number 5.
I think they should almost. Amanda Waller should have just a regular. Work her way up in the thing. Where was it? Maybe she should have the most boring thing, and she was very much a straight laced person until she got the power, and she got power hungry.
Yeah, I mean, she is unstoppable. She has all these power people working for her. So, but you see what I'm saying? So we start off with absolute, and where the heck this happened? Then we go into absolute power, not absolute number 3. It's so confusing as opposed to just saying, let's do absolute power. Like, hey, you know what? We think we should do an origin story about the whole thing with Waller. Oh, we should do a separate story for absolute with the Task Force 7. So again, just to bring this all the way full circle, back to the Batman. What does that mean? Right? Does it mean, is this going to be a new spin-off of all this? The whole new world, so their ultimate version, but it's based off of the absolute stuff. Is it a whole new? Is it? I mean,
You've been
How do you
keeping up
explain?
with the Batman comic books?
Huh?
You've been keeping up with the Batman comic books?
I've been keeping up with some of them, not all of them. Yeah, I mean, just because I've been kind of weirded out by some of the stuff that's been going on, So I mean, now, like I said, he's getting back. It's like a total reset. This last one was a complete reset of everything, you know. So, in fact, I think I just picked up when I was in Louisiana, New Orleans. I picked up a signed copy of what it-
It's a lot of books.
yeah, I picked up a signed copy of it here. It's a regular version, but a signed copy.
Okay. All right. So there we go. We
So
got
yeah,
a lot of tie-ins, $4 and $5. I gotta get out of this site. This site is really for the birds.
yeah.
But anyway, so I guess my last thing is, are you enjoying it so far?
I am trying to get a handle on it at the moment. It seems that they have a plan. They seem that where they're going to go about it. You
Mhm.
know, there's just so many similarities with Marvel and the Dark Reign that I see in some of this stuff. I mean, the different differences and stuff, but uh, we'll see what happens. I mean, they've made Waller. One thing, good thing I got to tell them, they've made Waller into such a major figure over the years, where she's had different tie-ins with different teams. First with the Suicide Squad, and now she's got more power with these various teams and groups, and like Failsafe and Green Arrow and stuff like that. That you can see how I like the way they built it up. The Board Queen, excuse me, the Dominion, the Queen, the Brainiac Queens, how she's bringing all these things together piece by piece. So I like the way they did that. I just think it's just so much. That's the only problem. But, I mean, hey, I hope DC. I hope it's a successful series. I hope DC, the writers kill it. I hope people come out. I'm all for anything that brings the industry more. More money, more people. That's what I say. More people, more money. Excuse me, should be the other way around.
Oh yeah. Well, I put my last comment that I'll say is, in my mind, if they're gonna do a movie with, obviously they're doing so much with her, and I know people like the actress that is playing her now. But what's the name? Who plays that man all the time now? Oh man,
Suicide Squad. You talking about Haley? Haley?
no, what's the name? She was in How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, you talking about Amanda Waller, the real character?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I would almost wish they would go to this comedian Retta, who's also an actress, and use her as Amanda Waller. Someone who's a little
Oh,
closer
Viola
to
Davis. Yeah.
Viola Davis, but I mean, Viola Davis is very recognizable as Viola Davis. I'd rather than get someone that would be like not in the fame of the immediate choice that you would go to since she's so famous. But anyway, like
I
it's
mean,
a,
that's like, I mean, you've had a bunch of actresses who played her. I know on TV. I know they had this one from Arrow, Cynthia Adai Robinson, and played
we
her.
need. I'm saying we need to get a full figured woman out there and put this thing together because she's not small. That's the thing that you have to remember. But anyway, that's it. That's all my ideas.
Hey, so
Um,
if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, comments, spin a rack.
hold on. Out.